Good morning, everybody. It's your girl Miracle Sims, and you are listening to God, Sex, and Love. Your daily dose of inspiration and juice. It is July the 15th, 2022, and today the topic is the things you do. Happy Friday, everybody. Happy Friday. I hope that you all had a great day yesterday. Mine was just fine. Mine was kind of busy. A lot of really cool things happened yesterday. First, let me say shout out to my in-laws, my brother-in-law and my sister-in-law had their little bundle of joy, a baby girl, yesterday morning. So shout out to them. I hope all is well with baby and mommy. And yeah, man, congratulations, man. Congratulations on the new bundle of joy. So yeah, that's one thing that happened yesterday. And then also yesterday, your girl was quite busy when it came to like recording GSL. I had 2 episodes of GSL to do yesterday. And so to God be the glory that both of those went well. And amazing conversations, amazing people that you guys are gonna see real soon in the future, if the Lord's will. And outside of that, I had another meeting with the gentleman. I'm helping him out with his book. So again, to God be the glory for opportunities and people to work with and things like that. And so, things are coming along and looking forward to see like the next steps regarding the gentleman and his book. So that's what my day looked like yesterday. You know, just put in the midst of that, being a mom, trying to eat and trying to rest in between all those different things that I did yesterday. So that's what Thursday looked like for me. But here we are on this Friday morning, and I am recording a little bit later than usual. Because I remember waking up to the sound of my alarm, but I probably turned it off soon as it came on. And so the next time I looked at my clock, it was like a little bit after 5, and yeah, so everything kind of got pushed back. But I did my prayer meditation and all of that. But ultimately, this phrase, the things you do, came into my heart and mind. I've been having a lot of different conversations about like choices and relationships and all this type of stuff. And so today, actually, before I started listening to my prayer meditation, I in the group, let's be clear, they shared this, I guess it was like an anonymous letter, you would say, of a wife in distress about her husband and infidelity and all these different things, and she just was going and telling the story. And I don't know if she was getting advice per se, but of course people are giving advice in the comments and whatnot. And I mean, I guess ultimately that was the inspiration for today in regards to the things you do. Because at the end of the day, I know I've said this before here on the juice, but I mean, just in case whoever listening to the sound of my voice needs to hear this today, that yes, in spite of what the narrative says and in spite of what people think, our choices affect others. I know we like to think that it's my choice and it only affects me. But no, the choices that you make, each and every one of us make, they will affect someone else. Whether you agree or look at it like that or not, I mean, you have to just think about any scenario and think about a choice that you're like, okay, this is a choice that, I'm going to do for me or whatever the case is. And then try to imagine or think if this will affect someone else. In any way, like, will it affect even one other person? Whatever my choice is. Off the top of my head right now, let me do the experiment. Since I'm challenging y'all to do it, I'm gonna do it. So, all right. So, I mean, obviously, I can think of a lot of scenarios in life, but let's just try to take something random instead of like thinking of a specific thing from my past. To give an example, because again, I'm putting y'all on the spot, so I'm on the spot right now. So first thing coming into my mind, food. Now, at the moment, I am hungry, right? And Now I could either choose to, cook something, or I could choose to not cook something. Let's just go with that, right? So, how does that affect someone else? Well, okay, well, I am a wife and a mother, right? So, for example, if I choose to cook something, most likely I'm going to cook enough and it's going to, my husband and my son can benefit off of that breakfast that I cook, right? But if I don't cook anything, then not only am I hungry, then but my husband and son is hungry unless somebody cooks something there. Like that's just one example off the top of my head this morning about a choice that I can make that will affect other people. Now, maybe, that may be big or small or whatever the case is, but when you think about like bigger scale things, then that will have a negative effect. Even that scenario has a negative effect when you think about it, because if I choose, for example, not to cook breakfast, then the negative effect is that, not only am I hungry still, but my son and my husband continue to be hungry, and it just goes on. So, and now my husband, he could cook something, right? But my son, who is 3, can't cook anything at the moment. You know what I mean? Even though he attempts to go and grab things on his own, I have a suspicion that he went into the fridge yesterday and got my chocolate out of there. I'll ask my husband to confirm, but I think he did it. You know what I'm saying? And so, but there you go. Like, I mean, it's cause and effect. It's That's just a one random example, y'all. But again, what the things we do will affect others. And so again, hearing and seeing this woman share her story and whatnot, it's like, how could you, on one hand, right? When we, obviously we're hearing her perspective, right? And we're hearing one side of the story. And of course, in relationships, there's two sides and everything like that. And everybody has their own feelings about whatever it is, right? But I mean, well, the Bible has plenty to say about infidelity. So let's go there. Two, when you're hearing the wife's side and hearing like how his choice has affected her and their family and everything like that, it's sad. It's sad and hurtful, and for whatever reason, for me, it makes me wonder, like, man, how and why would you not see that, man, this choice that I am making, is hurting my wife, is hurting my family. And, from there, this decide, well, maybe I shouldn't be selfish right now in my thinking. Maybe I shouldn't make this decision to do this or that, but for whatever reason, I mean, we can be very selfish as humans. We can, I guess, even if we know deep down inside right from wrong, we'll still make certain choices and stuff because, I mean, well, because we're human and, there's, we have the free will and to do whatever we want to do. And, sometimes we make those choices that may not be the best or beneficial, like the Bible says. And so, and there could be, again, plenty of reasons why people do what they do. But I mean, I guess for me today, I just want to remind all of us that, the things we do does affect other people. And yeah, so let's get into it. So Romans 8:7 says, "For the mind that is set on the flesh is hostile to God, for it does not submit to God's law. Indeed, it cannot." Yeah, that's one of those effects of, leaning to our own understanding, doing things because we feel like doing it, or doing things that we quote unquote think is right without consulting the Lord to see if it is right. I know one of the ladies I spoke with yesterday kind of touched on that in regards to, because I asked her to give some advice to single people. And ultimately she, asked them to ask the question, like, is what I'm going to do going to, is what I do or what I choose to do going to honor God? Like that should be the question that we're asking ourselves and whatnot about like different things in life. And so, yeah, I mean, just one of those things to think about. And everything like that. I mean, obviously, again, if your mind is set on things of the flesh, then all of this that I'm saying may not make any sense at all to you, but if your mind is on, the will of God and things of the spirit, then you understand what I'm saying, and you understand the importance of what I'm saying. And I hope and pray that anybody listening to the sound of my voice today will be encouraged and inspired, to go deeper with that idea, and let the Lord lead and guide them in all of that. Alrighty, so So someone is commenting on YouTube, but it doesn't have anything to do with my topic at the moment, so I'm gonna keep on going. So here we go. Proverbs 3, 5, and through 6 says, trust in the Lord with all your heart and do not lean on your own understanding. In all your ways, acknowledge him and he will make straight your paths. So, yeah, again, when we're, debating about the things that we're doing, and, it just goes back to what I was saying a minute ago. Like, at the end of the day, we got to trust in the Lord, right? We have to do things in his way. And I know that there's this narrative out here that there's, this truth, that truth, my truth, your truth. I don't really, how would I say? I don't really like, I say just believe in that, but like, play into that narrative, like I do get that there could be different perspectives of the truth. I do understand that. But I don't think that there's multiple truths. And I know that's like controversial in some ways. I know when it comes to the moral compass again, but see, that's the thing. If there's no standard, right? If there's no standard, then that means that anything goes. And so, so then, yeah, we can get caught up in these different ideas. Like, okay, what I do doesn't affect anyone else, even though we already just played out a scenario of like what I do will affect someone else. But even aside from that part, it's just the aspect of like, let's go back to what the verse is saying here. It's saying, in all your ways acknowledge him and he will make straight your path. In the beginning of that verse, it says, trust in the Lord with all your heart and do not lean on your own understanding. Again, we can coerce ourselves to believe that like how we feel is right and stuff. And the thing about that is that it again, like I guess you'll know again by the fruit, right? You'll know whether if the fruit is not right, then ultimately that means that the choice or whatever the sowing or whatever was done to create the fruit, it probably isn't right, so it's just one of those things again to think about and go deeper about in regards to that. But let me keep on going, y'all. Here we go. Luke 14:28. For which of you, desiring to build a tower, does not first sit down and count the cost, whether he has enough to complete it? That verse stood out to me this morning as I was writing it down. I guess for a few reasons. It made me think about, again, like when we're making certain choices and we're doing certain things, it's like, again, we're not counting the costs of like, and thinking about the cause and effect of those situations. Now, some do count the costs and still do whatever they want to do. But I feel like we as humans, a lot of time, we don't count the costs. We don't think about like, how is this going to affect, not only me, but those around me. And I mean, I guess today, this verse, makes me think that, this is something that we need to do. If we're not thinking about this and thinking about, again, building and thinking about like what it's going to cost to build it and things like that, or what's going to cost to tear down, situations. Again, if I refer to the anonymous letter that I was reading this morning, did that gentleman count the cost before he made those choices to do those things that ultimately again affects not only his wife but his children, and then the person he was dealing with, and all of that, just based on the decision, you would think that no, it doesn't seem like he thought about any of that. But on the flip side, again, it's just one of those things to think about. I'm going to keep going because I see there's a lot of movement again in the comments. And so those of you all that know the words of prayer and whatnot, please pray for your girl. Obviously I must be doing something right in the spirit realm. So thank and praise God for that. And hey, whoever you are, that's fine. I'll acknowledge your comments after I get done with this and whatnot, because I need to focus on what the Lord has given me this morning. So here we go. Deuteronomy 30:19, it says, I call heaven and earth to witness against you today that I have set before you life and death, blessings and curse. Therefore, choose life that you and your offspring may live. So again, those choices, yes, they're being put before me, life, death, and all those different things, blessings and curses, right? But what God has asked us to do in his word is to choose life, because not only for me, right, not only for you, but it says that you and your offspring may live. So, that's just one of those things to think about this morning again, that, at the end of the day, again, choices are life changing. That was, I shared that quote with you all before. That's a quote that has stuck out with me throughout my life. And I can totally see how, again, the things that I've decided to do has affected my life and everything like that. And, ultimately, y'all, that is the juice this morning. I hope that you all are encouraged and inspired to, go deeper with this and do some more studying and whatnot. If you don't understand or agree with what I'm saying, obviously you can pray about it and read these verses for yourself and obviously make the decision for yourself. There's plenty of verses in the Go Deeper section for you all to peruse and let marinate on your heart, souls, and minds. But the Bible verse of today is 1 Corinthians 15:57. It says, but thanks be to God, which giveth us the victory through our Lord Jesus Christ. Friends, I hope you all enjoyed this juice this morning. Thank you so much for listening to God, Sex, and Love, your daily dose of inspiration and juice. I pray you guys can go forth and have a wonderful day, and I look forward to talking to you all tomorrow, if the Lord's will. Just a reminder, today is Friday, so that means that there's a new episode of God, Sex, and Love, the talk show, that will be airing tonight at 7 p.m. It will be a chat with the two doctors, Dr. Elizabeth and Dr. Latanya Rainwater. And so tune in tonight to hear more about them and their Etsy shop, the ELR shop. And yeah, y'all, I thank you for those of you all that say a word for prayer for me. Again, I know there was a couple of people going watching me while I was live, and I guess someone had things to say, and I'm going to address those things. So if those of you all that are listening to me on the podcast, you guys can check out the live version of this to get that sneak peek on what persecution looks like, what I'm saying, in real time, what I mean. But anyway, but I'm gonna let y'all go on the podcast. Thank you all so much for listening, watching, and for podcast people, thank you so much for listening, and I look forward to talking to y'all tomorrow, if the Lord's will. Bye-bye. Facebook, YouTube, Rumble, anybody listening to the sound of my voice, man, I still got joy, man. At the end of the day, those distractions and things try to come your way. You know what I'm saying? You in the midst of sharing what the Lord has given me this morning. I told y'all I woke up a little bit later this morning as well. So there was already things trying to not get me to, I guess, share this message on today. But first of all, I just want to say thank and praise God for wisdom. You know what I'm saying? Thank you and praise God for joy. And the tenacity to keep on going. Like I said, I will go ahead and put these things on the screen so y'all can see and stuff for anybody else that may be, in my shoes either one day or today or whatever the case is, so we can see how to handle these situations. I mean, I just know in the past that like I would address things live with people, and they would do what this person has done. They've left their comments, sowed their seeds of discord, and then when I addressed them, and then when I told them, you know what, I'm not even going to address it right now and whatnot, you saw the devil flee as they tend to do. But we're gonna go ahead and just let it be known. Let's see what these individuals had to say, because obviously, again, when it, because it had nothing to do with my topic, that's why I was like, I'm not gonna address it. Like, I have no problem talking to people live and stuff, but the thing is that, you know, I'll address and talk to you live, but it got to be about what I'm talking about at this point, because in the past I've addressed situations, and then individuals, they would pop in and they would say stuff, and then it doesn't have anything to do with my topic, and then it's like you're trying to get me off task what Lord is giving me to say for this topic that I'm talking about. And now I see I got a couple people. I don't know if y'all were the two people that was here earlier or not, but it's still, here we are. I'm going to go ahead and address the comments that was being made earlier, that somebody had, I guess, plenty to say about I guess they might, it looks like they were just commenting the same stuff over and over again. But let's look at it, y'all. Let's take a look. All right, so this gentleman, I guess on YouTube, we giving you a nice little shout out this morning, Chris Brown. You know, I don't know if it's the actual Chris Brown or just somebody, who knows. You know how that goes. People, it could just be a bot, who knows, I don't know. But anyway, Chris Brown says God has killed 2.5 million in the Bible, and the devil a measly 10 souls. Who's the real devil? So again, like, why would I address this while I'm sitting here talking about something else? So to God, again, it's God be the glory for wisdom. Two, this person, to me, it doesn't seem like they know anything about what they're talking about, because you know, where, first of all, where are you getting your numbers from? You know, and everything like that. 10 souls, right? Okay, so, well, tell me the 10 souls. You know, who were these 10 souls that the Lord took? You know what I mean? And or excuse me, that the devil, I guess, the 10 souls that the devil took versus the 2.5 million that God killed in the Bible. I mean, what are we even talking about? This doesn't have anything to do with any. I don't know, but hey, so here we go. And then now it says here, the individual wanted to point out or say that God orders the killing of innocent people, when after the 10 commandments said, thou shalt not kill. Well, again, who are the 10 commandments for? Let's answer that question today. Is the 10 commandments for God, or is the 10 commandments for us? Because far as I know, it was for humans, not for the Lord. And at the end of the day, the only one who has authority to kill and destroy and all that stuff is God, because guess what? He made all of us anyway, in my humble opinion, based on Bible. Now, are we going to talk about Bible, or are we going to talk about what we think and feel? So, but let's keep going. Let's see what else you know, Chris Brown had lots of things to say. So here we go. Give him some time to speak, you know. Chris Brown then says, and bashing babies against rocks. He's naming Hosea 13 and 16, Psalm 137 and 9. This type of criminal behavior should shock any moral person. I agree, right? I agree, you know, which is amazing, because people do very similar things now. They call it abortion. I mean, now, do I could go ahead and pull up Hosea 13 and 16 and Psalm 137 and 9. But in my opinion, just based on the response thus far, it seems like Chris Brown here is using things out of context, or trying to use verses out of context, and maybe not reading the entire Bible to understand like what these verses could mean. So, I mean, again, I could go ahead and, you know, read these today and point them out, but let me just go ahead and continue to see what Chris Brown had to say, or whoever this is. So then there's some bots that had things to say, but here's Chris Brown saying something again. Here we go. Jeremiah 11:22 through 23. God will kill the young man in war and starve their children to death. Jeremiah 19:7 through 9. God will make parents eat their own children and friends eat each other. That doesn't sound like Bible to me. You know what I mean? It doesn't sound like it is. I never saw anything that God commanded people to do these things. But hey, you know, we can entertain again, Chris Brown. Anybody listening and watching this at this point, you know, hey, check out these verses for yourself. That's why it's important to read the Bible for yourself as well, because people will be out here, right, and and I know I share verses on here every day, right? I share verses on here every day. But at the end of the day, I share what the verses are, so you guys can go back and read them for yourself, right? And let them marinate on your own heart, souls, and minds. So again, I've never read anything that said that God commanded folks to do this, but hey, by all means, check it out for yourselves and see what the word has to say. Here we go. Chris Brown got more to say, y'all. Here we go. So Lamentations 2:20 through 22. God gets angry and mercilessly torments and kills everyone, young and old. He even causes women to eat their children. See, here's my thing. Here's my question. Did God give us free will or not? As far as I know, he gave us free will. Now, were there certain scenarios and different? Now, I am aware that people did these things, and I'm aware that apparently people are doing these type of things now. Horrific, sounds crazy. I don't do that, but I mean, hey, obviously, again, I think I've shared in the past on the juice where people was out here eating cow. Was it cow dung? I don't want to misquote, but and dove's dung, and the heads of donkeys and whatnot, and there are references to people being hungry enough to eat their children and whatnot. I know Solomon had to deal with the two women that did that and all of that. Or so I mean, there are references to such evil things in the Bible. And hey, I think, hey, let's keep in mind that these crazy things like this is going on today. And guess what? It's not going on because people is hungry. It's going on because people are using their free will for evil. What do we want to address that too, or do we want to just keep picking random verses and try to, I guess, what are we trying to say? But anyway, let's keep going to see what else Chris Brown has to say this morning. Here we go. If a man is caught in the act of raping a young woman who is not engaged, he must pay 50 pieces of silver to her father. Then he must marry the young woman because he violated her. Deuteronomy 22 and 28. Again, y'all can go ahead and confirm all these things yourself. You know what I mean? Go ahead and read these things. I would say not only read these verses that this gentleman is bringing up, but read the entire account and read everything, right, to get an understanding and get the wisdom. I mean, the one thing I will say about you, Chris Brown, at least you looking up some verses and reading for yourself. It seems like it just seems like to me you need to kind of go deeper and read the entire something and not just be trying to pick something to say that, what are you trying to make me or other people here debate the morality of God? Like, God doesn't have the I guess the authority to to do whatever it is that he wants. Like, what are we doing here? What's the purpose of having this conversation? It's not even a conversation, or presenting these verses today. Let's keep going, because again, Chris Brown has so much to say this morning. Here we go. Hosea 9:11 through 16. Hosea prays for God's intervention. God, of course, obeys by making their unborn children miscarry. Is not terminating a pregnancy unnaturally abortion. Okay, I'm not familiar with what he's talking about. Again, we can check out these verses and whatnot here and see. Why do we feel like God needs to obey anything that we do instead of the opposite? Who are we, right? We can make our requests known to God. It does say, hey, talk to me, pray, all these different things. But he said God, of course, obeys by making their unborn children miscarry. What? Their unborn children miscarry. It's okay, Chris Brown. I understand what you're trying to say here. But here, let's keep going. Chris Brown got a lot more to say, y'all. Hosea 13:16. God promises to dash to pieces, dash two pieces, infants of Samaria, and their women with child shall be ripped up. Once again, this God kills the unborn, including their pregnant mothers. Again, are we reading everything in context here? Are we? What do we? and see, y'all see why I didn't address none of this while I was sitting here talking about what the Lord gave me this morning. This has nothing to do with what the Lord gave me this morning. But anyway, let's keep going. Judges 11:30 through 40. Jephthah, I ain't got my context on, y'all, so my apologies for that. But here we go. Killed his young daughter, his only child, by burning her alive as a burnt sacrifice to the Lord, for he commanded it. That's amazing. For God commanded it. God didn't, when God commanded somebody to sacrifice their son, he provided a ram in the bush. And now you try to tell us that the Lord commanded this person to burn their child when he condemned other nations for doing that type of thing. Okay, so again, but let's keep going. Here we go. No free will if God is going to throw you in hell for not believing. No, see, this is what we was talking about. See, now you talk about what I was talking about today. So let's talk about this. This is what I was talking about. Choices, again, are life-changing, right? There's a whole Bible and everything that describes, and see, nobody's here now. You see what I'm talking about? But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and put it out here. There's a whole Bible that tells us what different choices and different effects and different things that you do, which is what I was talking about today, how it's going to affect your life and what's going to happen. You know, at the end of the day, just like here on earth, if you make a decision, you do something evil, you do a crime or something like that, there's going to be some punishment to go with your crime. And the Bible lays all of that out. So at the end of the day, yeah, you got the free will to choose. You got the free will to choose what you do with your life and whatnot, but don't think that you're not going to get consequences to those choices and those actions. And so, yeah, there are consequences that the result is hell. And at the end of the day, you got that choice every day to make that choice. And so, yeah, everybody can go deeper with these things on your own. You guys can confirm or deny what I'm saying here, because again, you know, everybody has the opportunity to read the Bible for themselves and get the understanding and ask God for the wisdom. And that's all I'm doing every morning. You know what I mean? I get up, I do my little Bible study, and then I come on here and share with y'all. And you know, so I take the time every day, by the grace of God, to do this. You know, so you know, you guys can do it too, and make the decisions and choices and whatnot. And that's it. That's it. So, you know, thank you, Chris Brown, for, you know, allowing me to go deeper on today about, you know, I have no problem addressing your different things, but at the same time, you know, a lot of what you're saying here, again, everybody can go deeper on their own. I'm not going to sit here and pull up these verses today, because that ain't what I studied today. That's not what the Lord gave me to study today. But hey, by all means, Chris Brown seemed to have studied some things today. So, you know, and if you guys want to go deeper with these things that Chris Brown is talking about, then by all means, you know, go ahead and do that. But again, thank you to everybody that listens, watches, subscribe, share, and everything like that. And hey, yeah, again, thank you, Chris Brown, man. Thank you for tuning in today and sharing and everything like that. And yeah, I hope that you all have a wonderful, wonderful Friday, man. And yeah, I look forward to talking to y'all tomorrow if the Lord's will. Bye-bye.